Alright, this is Star Orc issue 3. This is that mini-series that introduced the more familiar version of the Galactical Guardians, the one that inspired the films. In fact, the setup from this book was used in the first one, I think. Other than that, I have not seen it. Really good series this. Good writing and good art. Good characters. Good story. Let's just jump in. We have our team shown here on this page. They are Star Orc. He is a leader of the squad and the title of this book. We have Forager from the Michael Notes, then Captain Universe Man. We have Life Cry, who is crossed out because she died last issue, and I talked a lot about how that was like the one thing in the story that I didn't like. Then on the next row, we also have Groot. He died last issue too. He sacrificed himself so that the others could get away. We have Willow, who I didn't want to talk about. And then we have Rocky Raccoon, arguably everybody's favourite raccoon. Together they are the Galactical Guardians. Though pedants will point out that they didn't actually call themselves that in this story. But this core team, this team led by Star Orc, they will go on to change some members around and then officially adopt that name. So these are the Galactical Guardians. They just didn't have a name yet. Our story here, this is part of a big crossover event, a fairly underwhelming crossover event outside of this mini. The Borg from Star Wars, they have invaded and taken over the Kree people's planet, and now Star Orc is leading this small strike force to infiltrate and destroy the Borg's replication factory or something like that. The Borg, if you have never seen Star Wars, the Borg, they are like an alien race of robot type things that infect and transform other life forms into being like, they are resistance, because there's always a resistance, is futile. Here, Star Orc, he is sneaking into one of their reproduction facilities. The Galactical Guardians, they are trying to stop the Borg from developing a new bomb weapon thing that'll spread an airborne virus that converts people caught in the blast radius into being a Borg. How embarrassing is this? They took this chap's photo and they didn't notice he had milk on his face. The standout parts of this issue and the series as a whole are the bits with the team all together. We have some really fun interplay between them, and it is a good, diverse set of characters. We have some really nice variety here. Even Willow, a character I really cannot stand and didn't even want to talk about. She is almost tolerable in this. A huge part of that is because every other character thinks she is useless and that she is not very helpful and that she is just a deluded nutter, all of which are things that I obviously also agree with a lot. Sadly though, subsequent writers gone in the other direction with Willow, and instead they validate her and all her bullshit. Groot, he has come back to life though, just like in the films, except done much better here. He has regrown from a tiny bit of mulch, and he's like the size of a little potted plant now. And if you look, he still speaks in full sentences and engages in dialogues with all the other characters. I might talk more about Groot and the stupid Groot retcon that Marvel recently did when I look at the next issue. It is so bad. It is terrible. And it was like so clearly not researched at all because, well, they just ignore that Groot speaks properly throughout this whole story. We also did a lot of stuff establishing the friendship and the bond between Groot and Rocky Raccoon. This will be something that endures despite both of these characters being retconned to fuck by other writers who seem afraid of being handed something that already works. For this issue, our main focus is actually more on Captain Uni-Verse Man. He is the member of this assortment of characters who is the most traditional superhero character. He is also the most powerful one here. He is incredibly powerful, but for most of this issue, he is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and loads of guilt over the previous issue and life cry dying. But the thing is, the team, they are pretty much relying on him and his incredible powers. And here we have a bit where they are attacked by a horde of Borg rats and they are fighting them off, but they need to escape from them. So then Captain Uni-Verse Man, he uses his powers to flood the chamber and they start to get away. But then it becomes clear that they are not going to get far since the Borg already know where they are. So Captain Uni-Verse Man, he proposes to stay behind and hold them off while the others get away. His decision to martyr himself like this, obviously stemming from all that emotional strain he has been under. Nice little character bit. Gives Captain Uni-Verse Man a nice farewell. The rest of the team, they are not so lucky though, because while they do get away, they end up surrounded by the Borg anyway. And the Galactical Guardians, they all end up getting captured by the Borg, except for Willow, who walks away because of some of her bullshit superpowers. Apparently the Borg cannot detect her, so she just fucks off. It'll be okay though, because Captain Uni-Verse Man, he didn't die after all. He actually overcame and beat the whole wave of Borg that came after them. So it wasn't a send-off. We were just writing the character up. That is good. This character will be jettisoned immediately by the next writer. So don't expect to see any more of Captain Uni-Verse Man after this mini-series. Unless you really want to see him appear in all of 2 panels to then be graphically blown in half. This is a really terrific mini-series though. I think I said in the last video that it was must-read stuff, and it is. If you like the Galactical Guardians, or you like the films, or you want to get into their comics, this is the book where they were done well. Most of these characters, they didn't have much life before this reintroduced or revamped them. Definitely check this book out. 7 thumbs up.